Here's another episode of the free VST Plugin Detective, where essentially I review, test out, and demonstrate various free VSTs, and this one is awesome. This is the Versilian Studios Chamber Orchestra 2 Community Edition Cello Section. Bit of a mouthful, I know, but basically Versilian Studios makes insane plugins, and the Chamber Orchestra 2 set, especially the Community Edition or the light versions, are unreal. This is the cello section. I've done some other reviews of their other ones, and all their plugins are always insane. Everything from the sample quality to the functionality and everything that you want in a good VST. Now, I'm just going to play this. I'm going to shut up and basically jump right into this because the sample quality on this plugin is unreal. Going down a couple octaves. Right, such a good sound. I mean, especially if you look at this, also this orange section, as you can see here, is basically the spectrum of the notes for this plugin. And a lot of times in some plugins, the lower register is great quality, but the upper register is a bit meh, or vice versa. But as you notice, when I play like the full end of the spectrum, and then on the highest note, both amazing quality, you know. Right, just clicking down. Such an amazing quality. So the cymbal quality on this plugin right off the bat, unreal. And also you have the envelope mechanisms, you have the ADSR, you have volume pan reverb. I usually don't like to use reverb on free VSTs, especially because, as you can see, it's just one knob. I suggest using Ableton stock reverb or whatever reverb plugin you use. You can obviously adjust a lot more elements. But obviously in this case, this knob isn't too bad. The algorithms I like. On a lot, or I'd say most free VSTs, I'm not the biggest fan of the reverb knob. This one's not too bad, right? But even so, I do suggest using your own reverb. So I'm going to play you a little section here that I just made for this video. Right, just a quick little melody I threw together. Now, for this plugin, my FRECCERO rating is a 4.9 out of 5. And you may be like, wait, what's the 0.1 deduction? Like, why not a full 5 out of 5? Why 4.9? Well, here's the reason why. So you notice here that you have instrument. Also, like I mentioned, this is the cello section. But then you have articulation. Now, there's basically, I think it's 6. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different articulation settings, which allows this plugin to be even more customizable, especially for your productions. However, you notice that I have the orange notes here, and then these in yellow. In order to activate the different articulation settings, you have to do it through MIDI, which for me, I personally don't like. I kind of wish these settings, and also I'm going to show you them, I wish these settings were a different knob that you can kind of turn up and down like a binary setting, like on or off, or, you know, maybe like a spectrum or whatever, as opposed to you actually having to trigger them via MIDI. So obviously, I have the normal one setting right now, so I'm going to play this again. Right, now I'm going to show you each setting as it sounds. Sounds like Zelda for some reason, actually. This melody is a bit Zelda-ish, I feel like, especially with this setting. The last two are going to be the regular but forte and then piano, I believe, yeah. And then last is basically piano. Right, so the settings are insane. I mean, so many versatility with the settings, but like I said, you have to activate them via MIDI. So for example, if I have a song, and I've done this in a lot of my songs, where let's say I have the normal setting, the normal articulation, and let's say on the build I want a, the tremolo, that I have like a suspenseful build before the drop, well, I have to adjust it in MIDI. So what I actually have to do is go into here, and I'll show you this. Once with the MIDI clip, and I can't remember what it is. It's C1, I think. So I literally have to create a note like that, right? So that way, when I go to play this, essentially, it can actually flow, right? And that's what's a bit frustrating about this plugin, you know, like, nope, this wasn't low enough, apparently. Let's see. Right, you notice it just changed. Now, if I bring this up to a D, you notice that this is going to change to the tremolo. Boom. Right, so for me, now granted, you may not mind it, you may be like, oh, who cares? But for me, I hate that I have to put a MIDI note in here that's a really, really low note. Even though it's obviously not playing anything, it's activating those different functions. And so for me, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I do kind of wish that it was something where, like I said, like something within the setting itself that I could configure, so therefore I could just do up and down. Because there has been times where I've been using this plugin, and I'll see this somewhere randomly here. Like, that's how I like to do it, so therefore I'm like, okay, it's activating it further enough away from, you know, when it's actually playing in the track, and I'll be like, why is this here? And I'll accidentally delete it, not realizing, oh shoot, that's actually activating the tremolo, or it's actually activating, the tremolo, or it's activating the normal articulation setting, or whatever, you know. So anyway, besides that, this plugin is obviously incredible. You really can't beat it, especially with the sample quality, stuff like that. For a light version, or community edition, as I like to call it, this plugin is incredible. Especially with the GUI too. I like this. I feel like this is really a nice GUI or graphical user interface. Sometimes on some free plugins it's a bit weird with some cropped up, distorted, you know, image with all this weird stuff. This one's super easy to look at. I like how they have this in orange and this in yellow too, so you can kind of see the distinction. You can see the spectrum here, everything this plugin has to offer. So definitely check it out. You know, I've linked this below to it, basically in the description. Obviously, it's free, so hey, you can't beat it. And especially for all these different articulation settings that I showed you, there's a lot of versatility in this plugin, and it's a great thing to have in your arsenal for your productions. So definitely check it out.